I am Brigadier General retired Ahmed Mohamed from the Kenya Defense Forces. And yesterday was a very sad day for the Kenya Defense Forces and the entire nation indeed, where we lost our CDF and some senior officers. Very sad day indeed. I want therefore to take this opportunity to pass my deep condolences to the family first of the CDF, General Ogolla, whom I know as a person and the family. We have been very close indeed during my time in service. And I do express our deep condolences on the loss of the general. I'd like to extend the same also to the families of the comrades we lost with the general. And I knew most of them apparently. General Saidin Zaro, Brigadier Saidin Zaro, was my brigade commander, Engineer Corps, where I served myself some time back. I also had a captain, Captain Sora, my brother-in-law, who passed away yesterday. So indeed, I'll say overall, a very sad day for the families, for the KDF, and indeed for this nation. We pray that the good Lord gives us the strength and comfort to bear this loss.
It's the first time we have heard a CDF die in office. So what happens when a CDF dies? What happens next?
This is indeed in the history of this country the first time that we have the death of a sitting CDF, and therefore there has been no precedents. As mentioned by the Commander-in-Chief, the President and the Commander-in-Chief, this will be a state funeral, and therefore we'll see the body, as been done in the past, being held at Lee Funeral Home, and then at the right moment, we'll have the viewing of the body, and then indeed the service being done in Nairobi. Being a state funeral, they do vary in terms of how they are done. In this case, what we'll see is indeed the viewing of the body, which will be done both mainly for the CDF officers, and may also be opened for the public. And then after that, we'll have a church service, I believe, in Nairobi, before the body is finally flown home.
Maybe what are the military ceremonies before the burial?
In terms of the ceremonies before the burial, not very much from the military, but much will be actually on the funeral site, where indeed, as mentioned, this being a state funeral, and also the fact that it's a president's, the first time we have a sitting CDF passing away in office. The standing instructions are that for a sitting CDF, this being a state funeral, he'll be given a gun salute. And that will range between 6 and 19. We know that for any other general and serving soldiers or past generals and soldiers, we normally give them what we call the rivale, where we fire the rifle between 6 and 12 shots, depending on the rank. For this one, therefore, being a special one, being a state funeral, we hope to see really a gun salute. The President and Commander-in-Chief mentioned yesterday that there will be 3 days of mourning. During this period, in line with tradition, the national flag will fly flag half-mast, whatever it is on this earth, it will fly half-mast. Equally, in all barracks, the flags will fly half-mast, both for the national flag and regimental flags, in honor of the departed comrades. Now, in the camps, the main activity going on now is the preparations for the burial. As we said, if there will be that gun salute, it requires a bit of preparations which will be done. Also, this being the first time for a sitting president, there has been no precedents. We believe there are open doors for certain activities that may likely take place. For instance, it may take place, it may not take place. I hope to see the missing flyman, fighter aircraft flying in honor of the general. Let's remember that the general was a fighter pilot, one of our best fighter pilots in this country. It will just be befitting that we have the missing flyman fly past by his comrades from Laikipia Air Base, the fighter squadron.
Maybe how will the succession look like, being that it's the first one of its kind, the president of its kind? How will the succession look like for the next CDF, and how long will it take before the new CDF takes in?
Now, the nation is in a mourning period. KDF is in a mourning period. The issue of succession is not very important at this mourning period. However, I want to make one point very clear, that in the armed forces, Kenya Defense Forces, and indeed the entire worldwide armed forces, there's never a gap in command at any one time. The structure is such that should the boss pass away, should the commander pass away, the immediate deputy takes over that position until it is confirmed. Therefore, we know very well now that the Vice Chief of Defense Staff will fill the shoes immediately while waiting for the official appointment of the person to be appointed. Let me also make it very clear that that appointment is at the pleasure of the President and Commander-in-Chief. There are no two ways about that. It rests with him. It's at his will. He'll do it at the right time after the nation has mourned, has cooled down, and we are back to normal. Therefore, no urgency indeed in terms of appointing somebody today or tomorrow. It will be done gradually as we rest and observe and honor and respect our departed comrades who lost their lives.
Maybe last part is expected maybe to honor themselves for these 3 days, and maybe if there are chance of doing the body at the burial day.
One thing is very clear, that for state funerals, we normally have something called the lying in state. We do remember that we have had a number of state funerals in this country for departed presidents done in parliament. At that time, when the body lies in state, the body is open to be viewed by any citizen of this country, and indeed by foreigners. I believe in this case now, for our past commander CDF, there will be time for viewing of the body. And apart from his comrades who are with him from the KDF, I believe strongly that there will be time for his friends across the entire nation, both in the country, outside the country, to come and pass their last respect when the body will be viewed sometime, I believe, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe the other senior officers that were among the that passed on along with the CDF, what kind of funeral will they be having? Will it depend on their rank?
As I said, the only thing that is special for the CDF is the gun salute. For the others, we'll have the Rivali. But indeed, for all of them, they'll receive a befitting funeral. I know for my Muslim comrades, all the funerals are being done today. I know for Brigadier Saidi, the funeral will be in Mombasa today. I know for Captain Sora, the funeral is actually ongoing now in Moyale, his birthplace.
Maybe we end in the morning, the CDF and given a will that you must be.
Good, we can, okay. Okay, we can say, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, ready, yes.
Now, one thing we do in the armed forces is the respect for the wish of our officers and men. I am made to understand that General Ogolla has requested that he be buried 72 hours after his demise. This means latest by Sunday. And I believe the family has put in that request. And let me also state, while it's a state funeral, while the general belongs to the Kenyans, he also belongs very strongly to the family. And the family's position will be respected. I'm told that the body will now be buried on Sunday in line with the request of the family. And we must all respect that wish. And I wish them well during that funeral.
Maybe finally, would that timeline affect the process of the burial, the way it would have happened if there was no the timeline he had given before his demise?
Very many has asked that, will that early burial affect the preparations as they go on? Let me mention that the KDF is very well placed to respond to circumstances. If it's so be that it's 3 days, I can assure you the KDF will be ready for that. And therefore, I look forward to that wonderful ceremony, that parting farewell for our former CDF. And it will be, indeed, a great ceremony.
Thank you very much.
Let me say farewell.
Yes.
Let me once again take this opportunity, a very sad moment indeed, to pass my deep condolences to Mrs. Ogolla and the family, whom we were very close friends. And also extend this to the comrades, the other families who lost their families. And indeed, to the KDF family and the entire Kenyan nation. A very sad day. The good Lord has his plans. The good Lord has his wishes. We'll obey that. But we pray that the good Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give the KDF, the families, and the nation the strength and comfort to bear this tragic loss. Thank you.